Imagine if every drop you poured into your relationship felt like a droplet lost in a boundless sea, while your partner drank the entire ocean as if it were theirs alone. What if, in every smile you shared, every effort you made, you were offering far more than you realized, only to discover that your love was measured not in equal exchange, but in silent sacrifice? Bold that thought, as we journey into the hidden currents of our partnerships, the unseen forces that weave through every word, every gesture, and every quiet moment beneath the surface of our shared lives. Let the question hang in the air. Who is truly doing the work in your relationship, and what does that reveal about the life you build together? Close your eyes for a moment and picture a garden at dawn. The sun paints the sky in warm hues, gentle dew clings to each blade of grass, and a hush blankets the world. Now imagine two gardeners tending that garden. One kneels in the damp soil, hands trembling with exhaustion, yet determined to plant the seeds of tomorrow. The other strolls through the rows, pausing only to admire the blooms, offering a nod or a passing glance, as if the garden tended itself. Who is holding the shovel, and who is merely standing by? In love, as in that garden, both partners must hold the tools. Both must sweat under the sun, and both must marvel at what they have created. But that harmony can slip away unnoticed, leaving one person to bear the toil alone, while the other basks in the fragrance without lifting a finger. Picture the rising sun over the Aegean Sea, its rays dancing on cerulean waters, a sight so breathtaking that it silences the soul. Yet, beneath the waves, unseen currents shape the tides, moving silently until the surface ripples reveal their power. Relationships, too, have currents, emotional undercurrents of sacrifice and expectation, hard to see until you feel their pull. Imagine Aristotle's voice calling across centuries. Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. He reminds us that true partnership is not a solo journey, but a shared breathing, a merging of two hearts as one. When one person carries the fatigue of endless giving alone, the unity crumbles and the soul can no longer find its mirror. From the first light of morning, we offer small tokens of love. A whispered good morning when the world is still hushed, the gentle touch of a hand on a shoulder, a coffee prepared with care while the other still dreams of sleep. These moments seem insignificant at first, mere ripples on a vast ocean of daily life. Yet, each ripple carries weight, adding to an invisible ledger of emotional labor. What happens when one partner's ripples swell into waves while the other barely wades in the shallows? The scales tip and the currents grow stronger, pulling the worn soul under. The ancient wisdom of Socrates echoes through time, warning us that an unexamined life is not worth living. How much more vital is an examined relationship? We must lay bare the ways we give and receive. When you pause to examine your habits, who wakes early to make breakfast? Who steers conversations toward future plans? Who calms the storm when stress looms? You might find that the load is not shared, but heaped upon a single pair of shoulders. That realization can sting like salt on an open wound, turning frustration into anger, and anger into distance that neither partner intended. Words are the bridges we build over the chasms that threaten to tear us apart. Without communication, those chasms widen until we stand on opposite cliffs, unsure if we can ever hear each other's voices again. Confucius reminds us that the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. That mountain might be the weight of unspoken needs, resentment, and silent sacrifices. If you feel the tremors of an unbalanced relationship, start by speaking your truth, one pebble at a time. I feel weary. I need your help. Each small stone you move together can lessen the burden, transforming a lonely climb into a shared ascent toward connection. Yet not all tasks are laid bare in the sunlight. Some remain hidden, folded in the creases of our days. Emotional support, the quiet planning for future joys, the silent endurance of stress. These are the duties that often escape notice. Lao Tzu's words drift like autumn leaves in our minds. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Those silent steps may include waking early to soothe a partner's restless heart, planning a surprise because you sense a lonely day ahead, or pressing on with a smile when grief thunders within. When one person takes these steps alone, they walk a path strewn with unseen stones, growing weary under a burden no one else feels. Balance in a relationship is not a ledger of credits and debits, but a shared sense of equilibrium that hums in the air between two people. Consider Buddha's gentle reminder: you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. When you neglect your own needs, your soul wilts like a flower deprived of sunlight. Self-care is not selfish. It is the roots that nourish the bond you share. Tend to your inner garden. Practice compassion for your own heart, and the bloom of your union will shine with more vivid hues than ever before. Across cultures and centuries, traditions have shaped our expectations of love and duty. In some ancient societies, the rules were as rigid as stone. One partner to provide, the other to care. But even the hardest rock can erode under the gentle drip of water. Those old roles can linger in our minds, whispering that love is a contract with fixed terms rather than a living, breathing dance. We must question these ancient voices. Do they serve the love we share, or do they bind us to expectations that no longer fit our modern hearts? The stories of Plato warn us that love is a serious mental disease, not as a condemnation, but as a reminder that love can blur the lines between fairness and sacrifice, urging us to choose wisdom over habit. How can we spot when one partner is tilting the scales with unseen weight? First, listen to the whisper of exhaustion in your partner's eyes, that dull ache that no amount of rest seems to soothe. Notice the flicker of resentment in a smile that has grown too tight. See the way appreciation fades like paint left in the sun, leaving bare wood that cracks under pressure. When one heart carries the work alone, it can shrink under the load, shrinking until it is too weary to love in full measure. But awareness, like a lantern in the dark, can shine on these hidden wounds and begin the healing. Turn the lantern inward next, and use the light of self-reflection to map the contours of your own giving. Ask yourself, what do I bring to this partnership every day? Which tasks do I perform without thinking, as if they were air? Do I demand recognition for my work, or do I let it vanish into the ether? Epictetus reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your inner world, your thoughts, your attitudes, colors every action you take in love. By examining your own mind, you can find the moments when you falter, when you hold back, and when you give too much, losing yourself in the process. Mutual support is the heartbeat of a thriving relationship. Picture a pair of dancers on a stage, their movements synchronized, each step lifting the other, each turn balanced by trust. When both partners bring practical help, sharing chores, dividing tasks, and emotional intimacy, listening, comforting, celebrating, every burden becomes lighter. Seneca's wisdom drifts across the amphitheater of the mind. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Often, our fears of imbalance grow larger than the reality. A partner who listens with compassion can soothe those imagined wounds, proving that together, you can bear any weight. Yet to build that partnership, you must take concrete steps. Start with honesty. Speak your truth like a flame against the night. Use gentle words, free of blame. I feel alone when I carry this alone. Write down all the tasks that shape your shared life, big and small, and compare notes. You may be surprised at how many stones you both carry without realizing. Together, find ways to divide the load, trading tasks like precious coins, so each partner's treasure chest is equally full. Express gratitude for every small act, letting your partner know that a whispered thank you holds more power than any grand gesture. And check in regularly, like a gardener inspecting the soil, making sure no weeds of resentment take root. In the annals of history, love has been both sword and shield. Remember Atlas, condemned to hold the heavens on his shoulders. If he ever paused, the sky might fall. Yet that myth stands as a warning. No one can bear the heavens alone. Rumi's line echoes from the past. The wound is the place where the light enters you. When one partner is overburdened, it is a wound that cries out for attention. But that wound, once seen and tended, can become a place of growth, where empathy and understanding take root. Together, you can carry the sky, not as individuals straining under cosmic weight, but as equals, standing back to back, lifting with shared strength. Modern life whirls around us like a tornado. Work deadlines, family demands, social scrolling that never rests. In such a storm, the small acts of love can slip away, lost in the rush. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If our minds are stained by stress, fear, and overwhelm, we might unconsciously leave all the small tasks to one partner who still has the energy to smile. We must slow down, breathe, and remember that every ripple of kindness counts. Make time for simple rituals. A midday text to say I love you, a shared cup of tea at sunset, a hand offered when the world feels cold. These quiet moments can realign the balance and remind us why the work matters. Gender stereotypes can weigh on relationships like invisible chains. For centuries, women were told to nurture while men provided. But these rigid roles can suffocate modern love. When we cling to these old scripts, who cooks, who fixes, who listens, we ignore the unique strengths each partner brings. Break the mold. If your partner is skilled at finances, let them lead that dance. If you find joy in creating a home, let your light shine there. By challenging stereotypes, you hand each other the freedom to contribute where your heart and talents converge. Imagine two partners making dinner together, chopping vegetables side by side, sharing laughter, passing spices like secret treasures, and rinsing dishes as a team. Feel the warmth in the kitchen, the bond that grows when each person's hand supports the other's. That is no ordinary meal. It is a symbol of shared power. Or picture a comforting conversation after a hard day, where one voice begins in anguish and the other responds with gentle understanding, bridging the gap between sorrow and solace. These moments stitch your hearts together, leaving a tapestry of support that can weather any storm. Self-care is the fuel that keeps the partnership engine humming. When you neglect your own needs, your dreams, your rest, your joy, you approach the relationship drained, offering only cracked fragments of your soul. Gandhi's simple directive resounds: you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Start by caring for yourself. Take a long walk in the forest, write in a journal your deepest hopes, or spend a quiet hour with a book that nourishes your mind. When you return to your partner, you bring a fuller heart, ready to share rather than merely survive. Patience and forgiveness are the gentle rain that mends the cracks in any relationship. We are all flawed beings, prone to missteps and misunderstandings. When you sense that your partner's exhaustion comes from past wounds, offer the balm of forgiveness. Hold back blame like a sword withheld, and instead offer a hand to lift them from despair. Hafez's whisper reminds us that the earth would die if the sun stopped kissing her. In your relationship, let your kisses be acts of kindness, moments of forgiveness that create a circle of light around every dark thought. Equality in love is not a game of tit for tat. It is a dance where both partners lead and follow, where each step is taken with awareness of the other's heartbeat. Plato taught that love is a meeting of minds and souls, a union that transcends mere transactions. When you strive for equality, you honor that union, letting both partners flourish rather than one fade into the background. In balanced love, there is no tally of favors, but a shared glow that radiates as each heart lifts the other. Hidden strengths often lie buried, awaiting discovery. Your partner's ability to plan a future every bit as bright as any dream you hold might go unnoticed because it happens behind the curtain. The quiet creativity they pour into every surprise, the gentle way they cradle your doubts in their arms, these are treasures to be unearthed and celebrated. Epictetus reminds us to rejoice in what we have, rather than grieve what we do not. Seek out those hidden gems in your partner's actions and words, and praise them for the light they bring to your world. Working together means more than sharing chores. It means standing shoulder to shoulder in both triumph and trial, blending your strengths so that one heart never tires alone. Picture a well-built bridge spanning a roaring river, its pillars anchored on both shores, each beam locked into place by the other. This is the fortress of a balanced relationship, a structure that neither storms nor time can easily break. When one partner feels weak, the other becomes support, and vice versa. Together, you become unbreakable. So, who is really doing the work in your relationship? The answer may surprise you. It is both of you, and neither of you at first glance. You might find that one partner labors in plain sight, washing dishes, paying bills, while the other pours love into hidden channels of emotional care. Or you might discover that for a season, one partner truly carries more weight, perhaps because of illness, stress, or personal struggle. The real shock lies in the truth that without both partners engaged, visible work, and unseen offerings, the relationship begins to falter. Imbalance breeds exhaustion, resentment, and distance that neither love nor time can mend easily. Change begins with courage. The courage to look at your hands and see if they are truly empty or if they hold too many cards. Lay your actions bare and invite your partner to do the same. When you see that one hand trembles under a stack of duties, reach out and receive a share. Use the wisdom of the ancients. Balance, self-awareness, and respect are not just lofty ideals, but practical tools you can wield each day. Let your honesty be the first stone you place on the path toward a fairer, more vibrant partnership. Imagine a future where your love stands tall like an oak tree, its roots intertwined so deeply that no storm can uproot it. One partner might plant the acorn, but together, you nurture it into a mighty symbol of unity. In that future, love is not measured by who does more chores or pays more bills, but by how each heart beats in time with the other. Your hands may differ in the tasks they perform, but they meet in the space of shared purpose, weaving a home that is both shelter and sanctuary. As we near the end of this journey, let the words of ancient philosophers echo in your soul. Aristotle's vision of two bodies, one soul. Socrates' call to examine every moment. Lao Tzu's faith in the power of small steps. Buddha's compassion for self that enables compassion for others. Confucius' insistence that mountains move one stone at a time. Epictetus' reminder that our reactions create our reality. Each lesson is a beacon, guiding you toward the truth that love is work, but it is work done hand in hand, heart to heart. Now, Take these reflections and turn them into action. Notice the tiny threads of imbalance that weave through your daily interactions. Speak your truth with kindness. Listen with open arms. Recognize the silent miracles your partner performs and honor them with gratitude. Tend to your own inner garden so you can bloom in harmony with your beloved. And as you walk this path together, remember that the greatest force in any relationship is not who gives more or less, but the shared will to grow, to heal, and to love without reservation. Thank you for embarking on this exploration of love's hidden labor. May these words spark a transformation in your moments, a ripple that grows into a wave of balanced energy. May you always question who is doing the work, and may the answer guide you toward a partnership where both hearts thrive. Keep tending your garden, for the beauty of tomorrow depends on the care you give today.